Hello everybody, this is MaximumDonut. Welcome to another episode of Dark Souls PvP with live commentary. Ha! I said live commentary. I was saying in my mind, don't say live commentary, say PvP in depth FAQ edition. But I failed. Alright, so the top comment on my first FAQ video, which had no commentary embarrassingly, was from Scooby-Doo Vet, who asked, what features from Dark Souls do you hope will stay in Dark Souls 2, and which do you hope will go? Okay, so the first thing is, I hope that the weapon balance is improved upon in Dark Souls 2, but remains fairly in play, I guess, because most weapons in this game are actually pretty viable. There are a subset of weapons that are incredibly unviable, like the Lucerne or the Whip, for example, and you know, I wouldn't mind seeing a rebalance for those weapons. I also wouldn't mind seeing like a nerf for the spear. One of my good friends said something to me the other day, which was, you know, spears in general, you know, aren't dexterity flavored weapons so much as they are strength flavored weapons, which kind of makes sense because if it's a massive fucking weapon, you know, like it has a long reach because it has a large mass. So, you know, but anyway, I don't think that would necessarily be a good flavor change for Dark Souls 2, but anyway. So I'm hoping that the weapon balance remains in the game. If there's a latency fix, like some people were talking about in the comments as well, I don't think that would be a bad thing at all. I mean, I think that would make PvP more interesting. But then that also raises some potential issues with regards to parrying windows, I think. So, I mean, everyone would have to relearn the game again, relearn how to PvP, except for the people who are garbage at the game, I guess. They'd have to, you know, relearn... Well, they wouldn't necessarily have to relearn how to parry. I mean, people who are good at PvE parrying will probably be fairly good at the PvP parrying now, if the latency was somehow fixed. But then, of course, that would, you know, that would bring up some problems with people who are really, really good. They'll just parry every single shot of everything ever. And so I think, you know, one potential solution to that, which I'm not necessarily saying should be added into the game, but yeah, one potential solution is if there was feigning the same way that there is in Chivalry, like if you start to throw an attack and then you can cancel it. I think that would be pretty good, but I think if there was no latency at all, parrying would be potentially overpowered as well. So maybe if they did like much reduced damage or something. In terms of backstabs, so I want backstabs to stay in the game. Yes, I do. I think it's a decent thing to remain in the game. Yes, it is abused. Yes, like, you know, people who are backstab fishers are like the worst scumbags. Well, not the worst scumbags. The worst scumbags are fucking ganking hackers, I guess. But like, I think it's a worthwhile additional feature in the game. It adds, you know, to variety, and it adds to like potential skill sets. So, you know, I think it's a pretty valuable thing to be in the game. Anything that adds more variety, or that adds, yeah, basically more variety to gameplay, I think is always going to be worthwhile. What features do I hope will go? I don't know. Oh, actually, that's the other thing as well. I can't believe I didn't mention this before. So the main thing that I hope will stay in Dark Souls 2 is the hidden plot. So when I was playing Dark Souls, I really enjoyed the central storyline, but when I played through it the first time, I had absolutely no idea what the fuck was going on. So I had to watch like Epic Name Bros videos to actually figure things out. What I didn't do when I was playing through the first time was I didn't pay attention to the plot at all. I kind of just played through, you know, all mindless and like, oh, this is challenging, but yeah, I don't really know what the fuck's going on, man. You know, don't know what this big old phallus thing in the filing shrine is, but you know, whatever. But yeah, when I watched Epic Name Bros videos, like, it opened up this whole new fucking world for me, which was really, really interesting. And I think that if I had taken the time to try and explore the world myself and like talk to all the characters and do everything myself, like, I think it would have been a lot more an enjoyable experience for me. So I hope the plot is not just like changed for the mainstream, so that people will just be like, herder, now I understand everything that's going on without a moment's thought in my brain. So yeah, that's my hope, and that will allow me to, I don't know, like explore the world myself, I guess, and try to figure out the plot myself. And yeah, I think that would be much more fulfilling experience for me. So yes, obviously when Dark Souls 2 comes out, I'm going to be doing a Let's Play of that. I'm also going to eventually upload my Let's Play of the previous Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition, but yes, I'm sorry that hasn't happened quite yet. That's pretty bad. Well, I might do like another proper video on like what my hopes and thoughts and dreams are for Dark Souls 2, but anyway, I think for now, I mean, those things, that's all I can really think of. Okay, so the next question is from Yuri Lucas, who asks, if you had to choose top 3 weapons in Dark Souls for PvP, which would you choose, or just favorite weapons? So, again, I should really think about this before I start answering, but my favorite weapons in the game, the ones that I have like had the most success with, would probably be the Boulder Side Sword, the Halberd, and maybe the Chaos Blade? I think those would be the weapons that I've had the most success with. Whether or not they're like actually I don't know, my top 3 weapons in the game. Definitely if I had to choose like a top 10, the Halberd would be one of them for sure. Actually, another one of my favorite weapons would probably be the Large Club, because the Large Club has a moveset that's really, really good. Certainly much better than the, whatchamacallit, the Demon Great Axe, which was my previous favorite strength weapon because of its ability to launch people in the air. But that's more of a cosmetic thing for me rather than a actual, you know, viability in PvP thing. Yeah, I might actually do another video just outlining what my top, say, 10 favorite weapons in Dark Souls are. The reason I was sort of going all spastic there was because I kind of didn't like the way that I beat that guy. But I was kind of resorting to, you know, doing like roll BSs and like trying to do everything else because he was using Sunlight Blade on a katana, and yeah, just like casting all of his shit up there and then just coming down here and wanting to fuck me in the ass. So, yeah, I kind of was just like, okay, well, I'm not holding anything back from you because you are just gonna absolutely destroy me in, you know, in any other sort of regular combat, I guess. I don't know. Oh, for those of you who are wondering, this is a new build that I created. It's a strength. Sorry, it's not a strength. What the fuck am I talking about? It's a Faith Pyro hybrid that doesn't use obviously it doesn't use a shield. It just uses a talisman and a pyromancy glove in the offhand, and it uses various dex weapons. I kind of created this episode just wanting to like try out a whole bunch of different weapons. Yeah, so that was the whole intention behind this. I didn't really have that much success with it, to be honest. Anyway, that was so bad. I like rolled into that dead angle. It's terrible. Alright, so the final question that I'm going to be answering for today is from Heart Amiel, who asks, when you encounter gankers, how do you take care of them? So I would definitely not be the authority on how to deal with gankers, because I'm really bad at it. Whenever I deal with gankers, whenever I invade in the forest, my win rate with gankers is probably like less than, you know, 40 or 30%. And that's just owing to the fact that the gankers, who are particularly, you know, smart. I mean, if they're throwing the fucking rule book out the fucking window, rule book in quote unquote marks, yeah, if they're just throwing it out the window, then, well, they'll just twop you as soon as you come into the world, and then just fucking spam like either magic, Wrath of the Gods, or they'll, you know, just circle you for backstabs, and, you know, if you try to parry them, you'll just get fucked. Basically, there's no way to deal with that. I haven't found of any effective way to deal with that. But anyway, the way that I try and deal with gankers as much as I possibly can is, if you are in a situation where they have an advantage in the environment, try to get to an area where they have less of an advantage. So in the forest, you can run to that little bridge and you can try to make it a 1v1, or you can try running down that ladder and make it a 1v1, or like, you know, if they come downstairs, like to that ledge, then it's quite easy to either kick them off, or like, you know, one of them won't follow or whatever. It's a very precarious position, and it makes it, I know, it puts the onus on them to try and follow you, and so yeah, that's one way to sort of give yourself a bit of an advantage against gankers, I think. Other things are, you know, using area of effect spells, obviously, like Wrath of the Gods, or if you're good at like using Great Combustion, or not Great Combustion, Great Fireballs or Great Chaos Fireballs, you can try and use that to your advantage to zone them out and things. What else can you do against gankers? Oh yes, use enemies. Like, you have to use every advantage you can when you're playing against gankers. So if there are enemies around, just run to them. You know, like, make them work for you, I guess. Because there's no point not doing that. I mean, they're not playing fairly against you. You know, you shouldn't have any sense of nobility. Like, if you win without, I don't know, backstabbing someone, or you win without, you know, or you win by like purely parrying them, or, you know, like fighting like quote unquote honorably. Like, if that's what, you know, if that's what you're doing, you are going to lose, you know, by and large. You sort of have to do everything that you need to, I suppose. I mean, the people who build like gank hunting builds, I mean, you know, quite often they'll just use like things like Dark Moon Blade on, you know, like Falchion, for example, or whatever, and that's just like a good way to just absolutely destroy people. You know, but they're obviously not thinking about, you know, what is or isn't fair in Dark Souls PvP. They're just doing whatever it takes to just brutally destroy people. Oh my god, the video is about to end. But anyway, those are some little hints, I suppose, to, you know, try and take care of gankers. It's really terrible. Thanks for watching, guys. Please ask me more questions, hopefully pertaining to Dark Souls PvP rather than my personal life, in the comment section below. The questions about my personal life I'll probably answer in some other videos, but this is supposed to be Dark Souls PvP in depth, not Dark Souls also my life in depth. So I won't be answering them in this video. Apologies for that. I will see you guys next time.